Hello and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Monster Pod, brought to you by thelines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Andrews, joined this week by 4 for 4's Connor Allen. Arizona Cardinals on the road at the Green Bay Packers. This is 5.5 out there in the market, 47.5 from a total perspective. I don't believe we're going to see Watson. I know he was back out of practice. I mean, that just seems like a guy who was originally listed as like a 4-week absence is now going to come back after. I don't know. Maybe it does look like we're going to get Dobbs back out there for the Packers as well. Still sitting in this kind of, if you want to call it the dead zone, although it seems like every game is landing on weird numbers these days. But if you want to still call it the dead zone here in this one, what do you think about the Cardinals heading up to Green Bay?
Yeah, we saw this total drop, which I thought was a little bit surprising here, considering both these defenses here. This Cardinals defense has been, really bad. Dead last in dropback success rate, 28th against the run. And then the Packers defense also really disappointing, 30th in dropback success rate, 23rd in rushing success rate. I think the question I have is can Kyler Murray and the Cardinals take advantage? Because they've been just super inconsistent this season. 13 points and 14 against the Lions and Commanders. Two matchups that hypothetically you'd think that they'd be able to expose opposing secondaries. And then this is, I wouldn't say a fully similar matchup, but again, like I just mentioned, 30th in dropback success rate, their point of least resistance would be technically through the air, and they haven't really been able to take advantage of that at all recently this season. So that's my only worry here. I would lean towards the Packers, but at the same time, I'm just a little bit worried about the Packers too. Like Jordan Love still looks a little bit rusty coming off the injury. But I mean, this Cardinals defense is something that's raises all ships here with how they've been playing. So it's this back and forth that I've had. I like the over. I lean towards the over at 47.5. Also, quick future, I did play Jordan Love MVP at 45-1. If I think that they come back and win the division here, I think that's a pretty solid look. It's kind of a long shot at this point in the season.
Steven, it's a team in the Cardinals, like Connor's mentioned. It's like there are flashes, right? There are moments, there are drives within a game, I should say. It's like there's one drive they'll put together and you go, damn, okay, look at that. That's like a real NFL drive. And then the whole rest of the game, you're just sitting there going what the hell happened to that one drive that we saw early in the game? So I don't know. I also lean towards the Packers here, but not anything I think I'm going to be too interested in putting in the account.
I'm so sick of this Cardinals team. I really am. Maybe it's just because I'm a Niners fan. I'm still pissed off about last week, even though they just won on Thursday night and handled the Seahawks. But that second half was so ridiculous after trailing by 23-10 at halftime. The Niners were up in that game. And the Niners' second half possessions were tip ball interception, turnover on downs because they didn't have a kicker, so they couldn't kick the field goal, a fumble 8 yards away from the end zone for a touchdown by Jordan Mason, and another tip ball for an interception, and the Cardinals come back and win by a point. So, I'll give Gannon credit for, I haven't seen coaches go for the 2-point conversion down 10 so that they're down 2 instead of down 3. I've seen it with 14, so I'll give him credit for that. Nice little analytics play to avoid overtime and actually get the win. But how predictive is that for the Cardinals moving forward, really, right? I mean, we have that as a win on their data points, and we have the Rams game where they played half a roster as a win on their data points. And their week before the Niners game, they got absolutely murdered by the Washington Commanders. So I don't see this as an above average team still. As far as the total, I am watching closely. I agree with Connor that if conditions are fine, then this is a dead over game to me. The number's been coming down, in my opinion, because of weather concerns. We have rain in the forecast in Green Bay, a little bit of wind in that 15 to 20 mile an hour range. So come game day, if it looks like it's going to be a little bit better than that, and this number keeps coming down to 47, maybe 46.5, I will be interested in the over because these defenses stink. I mean, the Cardinals are dead last by success rate, but the Packers have not impressed either. They're 29th by success rate allowed, 30th by dropback success rate. And then, as far as the side, Matt, this feels like a game where whatever your opinion is, just lean into some alts, right? Because the Packers defense is bad, and Jordan Love's been very boom or bust. He's 27th in EPA plus CPOE composite score. Kyler Murray is 8th. So just by that alone, it's in the range of outcomes that the Cardinals pull an upset here. I'll give you that. We don't know really what the Packers are at this point because they've had such a convoluted first 4 or 5 weeks of the season with the quarterback getting hurt and maybe not being fully healthy when he comes back. You had a wide receiver get suspended for not showing up to work. You got another wide receiver. Like, what, we don't know what the Packers are at this point. So if you see ceiling for the Packers, it's based on your priors coming into the season and what they look like fully formed by the end of last year, right? So I just think that anything is in play here when it comes to the outcome of this game, especially when you throw weather into the mix potentially as well. So if you love the Packers moving forward, maybe it's an alt spread for the Packers. If you're concerned about what you're seeing as far as the metrics, maybe it's an alt spread for the Cardinals, but the over is probably where I'm looking here after I monitor the weather on game day.
People just sat there through that and go, what the hell did Steven actually just decide on? Like, what the hell did he actually say right there?
I
like,
decided on tail outcomes, right? Like, don't give me minus 110. Give me like 2-1 on something. That's what I'm saying.
People are I'm going to have to rewatch that like 8 times to try to figure out what was going on in his head. I don't really even
embrace risk in this game. That's what I'm saying.
On right there. Yeah. I mean, as far as like embracing risk, they're not posting them right now because of the Watson deal. And they don't know, but like Dontavian Wicks was like the popular name last week and he kind of busted for everybody. But like, he got some shots downfield and he dropped a couple passes and stuff. So if Watson doesn't play and whenever they post up Wick's numbers, I imagine it's going to be fairly interesting for me anyway, because he still gets those downfield targets, still going to get the throws. And so I would be okay. Anything in the 30s, I would definitely look to the over on that. Guys, everything we do absolutely free. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate that. If you have not checked out 4for4 and all that Connor and team over there are doing, you got to go over there, get in on that. Not just sports betting. I know this is a sports betting podcast. They got your fantasy needs as well. So don't give up yet. It's only week 6. I know it sucks. You're looking at your team and going like, I have no chance because all my guys are injured. Well, guess what? Other people have injured people too. So they'll help you figure all this out over there at 4for4. If you haven't done so already as well, lines.com, upper right-hand corner. Absolutely free Discord. You can go in there and chat all sports all season long. For Connor, for Steven, I'm Matt. Good luck on all your week 6 bets.